Here's August 2014, questions 11 to 20. In number 11, it says, let f be a function such that f of x equals 2x minus 4 is defined on the domain 2 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 6. The range of this function is, domain's x and range is y, so they give you the x values from 2 to 6. All you have to do is plug 2 in for x and 6 in for x, and then figure out what the range values will be from that. So, f of 2 is going to equal 2 times 2, which is my x value, minus 4. So f of 2 will ultimately equal 0. This is a y value, okay? So now let's try to find the other y value when x is 6. So to do that, I plug 6 in for x, so f of 6 equals 2 times 6 minus 4, and that will give me 12 minus 4, which is 8, and here's my other y value, so the range goes from 0 to 8, and that is choice 1. Number 12, which situation could be modeled by using a linear function? Well, number 1 says a bank account balance that grows at a rate of 5% per year compounded annually. Well, that would be exponentially increasing, so that doesn't work. Number 2, a population of bacteria that doubles every 4.5 hours. That's also not a linear equation. The cost of a cell phone service that charges a base amount plus 20 cents per minute. Well, that would be linear because you'd have a base amount, let's call it B, plus 20 cents per minute M. Okay, so that would be your choice because choice 4 says the concentration of medicine in a person's body that decays, well, that would be an exponential decay by a factor of 1/3 every hour. So again, choice 4 won't work. Your answer is 3. Number 13, which graph shows a line where each value of y is 3 more than half of x? Well, we'll start with y. Is turns into equals 3 more than half of x. Well, the 3 more than, we're adding 3, and half of x would be 1/2 x, and then 3 more than plus 3. Here's my equation. Now I have to figure out which graph it belongs to. Well, in this equation, my slope would be 1/2, and my y-intercept is 3. Well, it can't be choice 1 because my y-intercept is not 3. Choice 3 does have a y-intercept of 3, but the slope is I'm rising 2 and I'm running 1. So the slope here is 2 over 1. So it's not choice 3. Choice 2, my y-intercept is 3. And if I go down 1 and to the left 2, I'll hit a point, and down 1 and to the left 2. So in this case, my slope is 1/2, my y-intercept is 3, so it is choice 2. Number 14. The table below shows the average diameter of a pupil in a person's eye as he or she grows older. What is the average rate of change? Remember, average rate of change just means the word slope. What is the average rate of change in millimeters per year of a person's pupil diameter from age 20 to age 80? So if you remember the slope formula, m equals y2 minus y1, change in y's, over the change in x's, which is x2 minus x1. We're looking at the points 80, 2.3, and 20, 4.7. So the y values are in this column right here, and the x values are over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug 2.3 in for y. So I have 2.3 minus 4.7 divided by 80 minus 20. And I'll end up with, in my numerator, I'll have a negative 2.4 divided by 60, which turns out to equal a negative 0.04, which is choice 4. Number 15. Which expression is equivalent to x to the 4th minus 12x squared plus 36? Well, here we just have to factor. So instead of x squared like we're used to, we have x to the fourth. So we're going to break that up by x squared and x squared. And then I have a positive 36. We'll have to list factors of 36 that add up to a negative 12. So I have to have two negative numbers because they have to multiply to a positive, add to a negative, and those two numbers will be negative 6 and negative 6. So I'll have x squared minus 6 and x squared minus 6, which is choice 1. Number 16. The third term in an arithmetic sequence is 10. The fifth term is 26. If the first term is a1, which is an equation for the nth term of this sequence? Well, arithmetic sequence means that you're consecutively adding a specific number each time. So if I have 5 terms, so I'll just do 5 spaces, and I know that the third term is 10, and that the fifth term is 26, I need to figure out what am I going to add each time in order to get to the next term. Well, 26 minus 10 is 16, but since I have to go 2 terms, I'm going to end up adding 8 each time. So 10 plus 8 is 18, 18 plus 8 is 26, 10 minus 8 would give me the second term 2, and 2 minus 8 would give me negative 6. So that means that my common difference, D, will equal 8, okay, and let's figure out which of these will work to give me this sequence. So I know that it's either going to be between choices 1 or 2 because we're using that common difference of 8. So let's try choice 1. If I multiply 8 by n, and remember, n is the number of the term that you're referring to, so n for this first one, so n would be equal to 1 here, n is equal to 2 over here. This is the third term, the fourth term, and the fifth term. Okay, so let's figure this out. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 10 is 18. That doesn't give me negative 6 like I want. So let's try to make sure that choice 2 is correct. 8 times 1 is 8, and minus 14 would give me negative 6. Okay, let's try to check choice 2. 8 times 2, the second term, minus 14. So 8 times 2 is 16, minus 14 is 2, so that works as well. So negative 6 works, 2 works. Let's try the next one. 8 times 3 is 24, minus 14 is 10. Okay, 8 times 4, 32, minus 14 is 18. 8 times 5, 35. 8 times 5 is 40, and minus 14 is 26. So choice 2 works. Number 17. The graph of the equation y equals ax squared is shown below. If a is multiplied by negative 1/2, the graph of the new equation is wider and opens downward, wider and opens upward, narrower and opens downward, or narrower and opens upward. Well, if you're multiplying it by a negative 1/2, okay, and we have negative 1/2 x squared, well, the negative sign will make this flip upside down, so it's going to open downward, so it can't be choice 2, and it can't be choice 4. It's either choice 1 or 3. It's either going to be wider or narrower. So if I type in y equals x squared, and I look at the graph of that, and then I type in y equals negative 1/2 x squared, I'll notice that when I look at the two graphs on my graphing calculator, that the negative 1/2 x squared is actually wider and it opens downward, so that will be choice number 1. Number 18, the zeros of the function f of x equals x plus 2, the whole thing squared, minus 25 are. Okay, well there's a couple different ways you could do this. The quickest and easiest method is, remember, f of x is just a y. If you type in y equals on your calculator and you type this exactly how you see it with parentheses, x plus 2, then square after the parenthesis, then subtract 25, and you either look at the table or the graph, you will see that the graph will intersect the x-axis at 2 points, and those points will be -7 and +3. So that will be choice 4. Number 19. During the 2010 season, football player McGee's earnings, M, were $0.005 million more than those of his teammates Fitzpatrick's earnings, F. The two players earned a total of $3.95 million. Which system of equations could be used to determine the amount each player earned in millions of dollars? Well, if it says that the two players earned a total of $3.95 million, that means I'm going to take M, which is McGee's earnings, and add it to F, Fitzpatrick's earnings, and it equals a total of $3.95 million. And the other equation, it says that McGee's earnings, M, were $0.005 million more than those of his teammates Fitzpatrick. So more than means we're adding. So M will equal F plus 0.005. So that would have to be choice 4. Number 20, which is the value of x in the equation that follows? Okay. Well, we have fractions, so what we're going to do first is find our least common denominator. Well, the least common denominator will be 6. So what we're going to do is multiply every term by our LCD of 6. When we do this, 6 cancels out with 3 because 6 divided by 3 is 2. So we're left with a 2. 6 divided by 6 is 1, so those cancel. 6 divided by 6 is 1, so those cancel. So we can't forget to distribute this 2 to everything inside the parentheses. So we'll end up with 2x minus 4 plus 1 equals a 5. Now we just have an equation that we need to solve for x. So combine like terms that are on the same side of the equal sign. So we have 2x minus 3 equals 5. And then we're going to add 3 to both sides to get x alone. 2x equals 8. Divide by 2, and so x has to equal 4, which is choice 1.